Good morning. It's Friday, June 5th, and some good news. Next week on Long Island, we will be able to eat in restaurants. However, we will have to eat outdoors, and the outdoor tables must be placed 6 feet apart, and all staff will have to wear a face mask, and customers must also wear a mask when not seated, because I think there's a reason for that. Because I can't imagine that we could eat with a mask on. So if you're not seated, you have to wear your mask. But if you are seated, your face can be uncovered. Now, here's the funny thing. I eat out quite often. I don't go to restaurants that have outdoor dining. And the couple of restaurants that might be able to do it don't have much street space to put some tables outside. So if anybody out there has a good restaurant that has outdoor seating, I would appreciate you to send me an email. Now, I know out in Riverhead, out on the East End, there are restaurants that have outdoor seating. I know a couple of those out there. But around town, I don't know any of them. So you'll let me know. You know, the economy's been very good for the last couple of years, but for some people, that's not good enough. So we had 4 current and former chicken industry executives. Chicken industry, I guess that's where they kill the chickens and raise the chickens, have been indicted for an alleged price-fixing scheme. Okay, well, that was executive from Pilgrim's Pride and an executive from the Claxton Poultry Farms. Now, I never heard of Claxton Poultry Farms, but I guess they're a big outfit. According to the unsealed indictment, the executives discussed confidential information about negotiations with fast food restaurants, grocery stores, supermarkets, etc., and made similar bids from 2012 to at least 2017. And so now there's a criminal investigation going on. So I guess you can't trust anybody. Who would expect chicken farmers to be rigging the prices? Here's another tidbit from my morning scour of the news. Delta is capping in-flight seating capacity until at least the end of September. The airline will restrict its flights to 60% capacity and block the middle seat access. Now, although overall passenger numbers have gone down in recent months, passengers have been startled to find that some flights on United and American are completely full, with social distancing increasingly difficult to maintain. But Delta is continuing to percolate, that's their word, percolate around whether flying during the pandemic is safe and responsible, with airlines such as Qatar asking crews to wear full-body suits. So Delta has introduced something called Delta Clean. Delta Clean ensures that 100% of flights are sanitized using electrostatic sprayers. Hygiene has become necessary for the brand to succeed. Passengers now consider the hygiene of the flight very important. And so those airlines that can position themselves as the cleanest in the skies have a better chance of ruling the skies too. So we'll now see if this belief that cleanliness is next to godliness will increase passenger volume and put you in the front of the airline race. Only the future will tell if this route really helps the airline industry recover. To wrap up with this final item, so this is something that I haven't seen in my lifetime. Many prominent leaders have spoken out against President Trump's actions, especially his actions in front of the church and the actions of threatening the American people with the army. So the former Defense Secretary James Mattis said the president doesn't even try to unite the country. And the American people have to try and find a way without relying on his leadership. And that's a damning statement. And then retired General John Allen criticized Trump's photo opportunity in front of the church during the protests, saying it was trying to use religion to gloss over the abuse of First Amendment rights. And then there were other senior military and political figures, including Joint Chiefs Chairman Mike Mullen and former President Jimmy Carter, also spoke out against Trump's rhetoric and threats of force against Americans. And the current Defense Secretary, Mark Esper, who in my mind appeared like a lackey before, has come out against Trump's vision of using force against the American people, using the armed forces against the American people. And he is now skating on very thin ice at the White House. So it just brings us to the point that people are starting to recognize that Trump is really not a leader. Everything he takes personally. He doesn't look at the big picture. There's only one picture for him, what's happening right around him. And if it offends him, then that's the end of the case. Then you're the enemy. He doesn't understand that this is a nation divided, and it's his job to bring it closer together. He continues his rampage just to keep himself ahead of the game. He's worried about one thing and one thing only right now, and that's getting reelected. And it's not getting reelected to do good for the people of the United States. It's getting reelected for his self-gratification and his status in his own mind. His mind doesn't have room for anything but himself. Now, I'm terribly sorry if I'm upsetting some people, but that's the way I see it. And so having said all of that, I think it's time to move on. So I'll see you tomorrow morning. Bye.